Let's be honest, traditional ways of learning English just don't work fast enough. You study lists, you repeat after teachers, and you still forget everything the next day. Why? Because there's no emotion. No connection. Stories fix that. When you hear a story, you experience the language. You don't just study English, you live in it. So let's jump into today's story and let the English come alive. Walter was 74 years old when he decided to do something he had never done before, leave the country. He had lived his whole life in the same small town. Same grocery store. Same neighbors. Same park bench under the big oak tree. Every week looked like the last, and that felt safe. But one evening, while sorting through old boxes in the attic, Walter found a dusty envelope. Inside were pictures. Photos of his brother on a beach in Spain. His cousin at a cafe in Paris. A friend holding a flag in front of a temple in Japan. He sat down slowly, holding one photo after another. And something shifted. The next morning, he went to the library, used the public computer, and Googled how to get a passport. It took weeks. Paperwork. Waiting in lines. Asking strangers for help. But Walter didn't quit. In fact, for the first time in years, he felt excited. Nervous too. But excited. He chose Portugal. Why? Because he liked the sound of the word. He booked the ticket. Found a hotel with pictures of colorful rooftops and cobbled streets. His neighbors were shocked. His daughter called him every hour. But Walter just smiled. The airport was chaos. So many signs. So many languages. At security, he forgot to take off his belt and had to be checked twice. At the gate, he almost boarded the wrong flight. But somehow he made it onto the plane. When it lifted off, he held the armrest tight. The clouds outside looked like cotton, and below them, his entire life disappeared into a tiny patch of green. Portugal was warm. Loud. Beautiful. He got lost on the first day. Asked a woman for directions using only hand gestures and a map. She laughed and walked him to the plaza herself. He sat at a cafe. Ordered something he couldn't pronounce. It turned out to be fish. With olives. He hated olives. But he ate it anyway and smiled. Every night, he wrote in a notebook what he saw, what he felt, the sounds, the smells. He watched kids play soccer in the streets, older couples dancing near the port, and dogs sleeping under tables. For the first time, Walter felt small in a good way. The final night, he stood on a quiet balcony. He looked out at the city lights, the foreign sky, the unfamiliar stars. And he whispered to himself, "Why did I wait so long?" When he returned home, nothing had changed. Same grocery store. Same park. Same oak tree. But Walter had changed. And even though he was back, part of him was still walking the narrow streets of Lisbon, breathing in the salt air, and smiling at strangers who didn't speak his language, but understood his heart. See what just happened? You picked up phrases like held the armrest tight, the cobbled streets, for the first time in years, not from a grammar book, but from a real story. You felt it. That's how language becomes yours. And that's why we post stories like this every day, to help you live English, not just study it. So if you enjoyed this one, give it a like, hit subscribe, and share it with someone who's learning English too. Now tell us in the comments, where would you go for your first international trip? See you tomorrow.